Hi, it's Kim Boon. If our recent poll on this channel is right, it looks like elections are just around the corner in May. So I spent some time looking at the current state of things today. I looked at PAP candidates, I looked at PAP incumbents, and I think I uncovered a PAP vulnerability in the East that could well put the Workers' Party in an advantaged position. So I'm sure you're curious, so let's dig more into that. So we first go to Tampines GRC. So PAP has introduced 3 potential candidates in this region. Most of you already know that PAP lost MP Miss Cheng Li Hui due to an extramarital affair in 2023, so there has always been a need to find her replacement in the all-male Tampines team. So this role is almost surely filled by 43-year-old Miss Charlene Chen, who was introduced in June 2024 as the second grassroots advisor.
Raising children is stressful. As a young working mother myself, sometimes I just need a break. In Tampines, we're always looking for ways to support young families.
So if you don't already know, that is code name for I'm running for the next election. So in her professional capacity, she is an assistant professor of marketing in NTU. Then there are 2 Davids seen in PAP walkabouts in recent weeks. 43-year-old David Neo, who recently resigned as SAF Chief of Army and 2-star General.
It's a great privilege and honor to be the first Commando COA, right? It is my expectation of every Army commander to give of their best.
I think it's no secret that any high-ranking military resignation prior to an election is a clear sign that they are running into politics. And he has only been seen in Tampines on the 4th of April, together with MP Mr. Bae Yam King on house visits. Then there's the other David, Mr. David Ho. So he is a director of philanthropy at the Majority Trust, which is a charity.
For David, he has not been with us, but he has many experience as a youth leader.
So he's a bit of outlier because he has been seen in Jalan Besar, Tampines and Jurong East Bukit Batok GRCs. But that actually does not matter so much, and let's talk about why. So the incumbent team has Family and Social Development Minister Masagos, Transport Senior Parliamentary Secretary Mr. Bae Yam King, and SMS for Manpower and Sustainability Environment Dr. Koh Po Kun. NTUC Assistant Secretary General Mr. Desmond Chu will likely defend his ward, which was carved out into Tampines Changkat SMC, so he is likely out of the picture. So we have to pick 5 out of this group of incumbents and new candidates. Have a look at them. Do you notice the elephant in the room? So nobody in PAP's lineup has any recent private sector experience, and this will hit hard in the current macro environment, where the current government, whether rightfully or wrongly, is the face of uncertainties around cost of living and job security. So this team setup screams more of the same, which could be exploited by an opposition. So the opposition messaging has traditionally centered around providing an alternative voice to PAP. They could double down on their narrative and play out a theme around private sector expertise as an alternative to the quasi-aristocratic status quo, especially if they have a private sector lineup that could back this up. And what do you know? The likely Workers' Party lineup looks exactly like that. So I don't want to play out academic and professional credentials too much, as they don't guarantee good MPs, but I have to be fair and list down each candidate's credentials and you can make your own judgment. So WP has 37-year-old Mr. Michael Ting, who has been touted as one of their stars for GE2025. So he graduated from NYU and Harvard. After graduation, he worked for management consulting firm BCG before founding a product sampling startup called Showdrop. So I had a separate video about him, and you can check it out in the links. So he is expected to line up alongside lawyer turned BCG consultant, 33-year-old Mr. Adrian Low. And there is 46-year-old Mr. Jasper Kwan, who is in the payments industry. 42-year-old Miss Afifa Khalib, who is in financial services. Last but not least, 53-year-old Mr. Jimmy Tan, who is the legislative assistant of WP chief and sales manager at an industrial equipment company. Looking at this team, the Workers' Party has a strong counterweight to PAP in Tampines. They could well sell that story of an alternative voice for Singaporeans, and they won't be just saying it. They would back it up with candidates with strong private sector experiences. Now, let's go over to Punggol. There's 2 PAP candidates that were seen on the ground last Sunday with the incumbents for Pasir Ris Punggol GRC. The first is 42-year-old Mr. Goh Pei Ming, who recently resigned as SAF Chief of Staff.
I have no idea. I'll try to serve wherever I can.
Like Mr. David Newell over at Tampines, it's safe to say that he is running for elections, and he has not been seen anywhere but Punggol. Then there's 40-year-old Mr. Fu Cexiang, who recently resigned as a director in the Ministry of Transport. So he started his career with JTC Corporation before rotating to MOE, MHA and MTI throughout his civil service career. Similarly, he was seen at the same event as Mr. Goh last weekend. So in that event, the incumbent for Punggol GRC were also present. So there was Dr. Janil, SMS, MDDI and MOH, and Senior Minister of State Sun Xueling, and NTUC Assistant Secretary Ms. Yo Wan Ling. Do you want to take a guess again at what is the biggest problem with this particular PAP setup? Exactly. Again, no one with any kind of recent private sector experience. So the same vulnerability faced by the Tampines team is real and present for the Punggol team. And what do you know again? Not only is the potential WP team chock full of private sector candidates, they have a former senior leader of the Institute of Mental Health, 47-year-old Dr. Ong, who is currently still at IMH as a senior principal clinical psychologist. In addition, he used to be a member of Compass, which is a national council that advises MOE on partnerships. So Mr. Ong brings a distinctive advantage that is currently unmatched across the PAP slate. With the mental health becoming more prevalent among conversations, his deep expertise in this area, having spent his career steeped in it, is going to strengthen that opposition narrative of not only providing an alternative voice in Parliament, but a credible, strong voice in the emerging area of mental health. So with that said, the rest of the team are possibly filled by education entrepreneur and former NCMP, 60-year-old Mr. Yi, 47-year-old Daniel Lee, who is a self-employed corporate trainer, 47-year-old Mr. Tan Kong Soon, who started his early career in the Intellectual Property Office of Singapore and Southeast CDC before working in alumni engagement in Singapore's universities. Then there's two other possibilities. Ms. Tan Chen Chen, a contracts administrator that went up against SMS Sun Xueling in GE2020 in Punggol West SMC, and Mr. Sufyan Putra, a lawyer. Basically, the WP team has no lack of diversity and private sector choices. So looking at the new PAP candidates, looking at the PAP incumbents, then looking at the WP lineup, what are your thoughts on PAP's public-centric versus WP's private-oriented lineups? Do you agree that there's a vulnerability for PAP? Let us know in the comments section, and until next time, this is the Red Dot Perspective.